As I stated earlier, we have some very special guests. And this next guest, obviously, is the most special guest. He's a leader of our great international union. He's the one that strategizes and paves the vision to make sure that we have the best collective bargaining agreement in the entire country out of every single union. Gives me great pleasure to introduce our General President, James Hoffa.
Thank you, Sean. How you guys doing? Very good. Listen, we've got a tremendous program today. We're beginning a 7-city swing right now. And we're starting out right here. And we're talking about the issues that face our union. Let me tell you something. Ken Hall has been working on that. We've got 1.4 million members of the Teamsters. They stand with UPS. We're going to get the greatest contract ever. And Ken Hall and I are going to do it. We're going to do it together. All of us. We can do it. And you know, I want to say something about somebody very special. And some of the people talking here, talking to Sean O'Brien. Hasn't Sean O'Brien done a great job here in Massachusetts? He keeps us back on the map. Great leader and a great member of our executive board. We're very proud of him and the great job that he does and the fact that so many people have come out tonight. You came out because you care. You're worried about your contract. You're worried about your union. And the answer is we're strong because we stand together, because we're together tonight. But most of all, you know, we've got a company here. Every day we deal with different companies, and you know what? We've got one that's a big bully. They made over $4.5 billion last year. That's with a B. Did you hear that? $4.5 billion. And despite all that, out of the blue, when we've been negotiating all of our supplements, we've been negotiating to make sure there's no more harassment, they came up with copay. They think we're going to copay for our insurance. Let me tell you one thing right now. Let's hear it. No pay, no pay, no pay, no pay, no pay, no pay. Oh, no pay. That's right. That's the message we're going to deliver. And when we see out here, when we go to the table, we know you stand with us. We are not going to be divided. We've got our eye on the ball. No pay, we'll get you the best contract. Thanks for being here. Now I want to introduce the guy that makes it all happen, the guy that's working every day all over the country, our Secretary-Treasurer, my partner, Ken Hall, doing a great job with small package. All right.
Thank you, Jim. You know what? The good news for you folks is that every day when we sit at that bargaining table, the person that's sitting right beside me is someone I think you're fairly familiar with, Sean O'Brien. Okay, that's the one thing. That's the one thing that we know. One thing that we know is, the General President and I know is, as long as we've got Sean there fighting with us, and we've got you with us, we're going to kick some UPS ass in these negotiations. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole spiel here, but you know, Jim already mentioned this whole proposal about health care. So part of my concern is that they want us to be distracted and only think about health care. First of all, as Jim said, we're not going to pay a premium for your health care. And they're going to go around this country and they're going to start working our members individually, and they're going to say, well, we proposed $90, but how about if we made it only $20? The answer is, you know, one of their top managers from Atlanta called me up the other day and said, I saw you quoted as saying something about our health care, and I just want to know if it's true. I have no idea, because people quote me all the time. I have no idea what they're saying about me. But he said, they said that you said you're not going to pay $90, you're not going to pay $9, and you're not going to pay 9 cents. And I said, you're exactly right. That is what I said. But let me make clear. Not only are we not going to pay 9 cents, we're not going to pay 1 penny for health insurance.
No pay, no pay, no pay, no pay, no pay, no pay.
So here's what we're going to do. And we're going to do this because, you know what, when they put that proposal on the table, we broke off negotiations, and I said to them, we are going to our strength now. What's that? That's our members. That's you right here. We picked a number of locations, and we picked 7 cities, as Jim said, to go to this weekend. We didn't pick the weakest places, we picked the strongest places, and that's why we started in Boston. And make no mistake, we're not going to just be distracted by the healthcare issues. We've got lots of issues we got to deal with. This company, you made them $4.389 billion off the sweat and off the back of Teamsters members, and we're going to get our share for that. And you know what? I'm not complaining about how much money they made, because I feel this way. The more they make, the more we take in negotiations. And so we're not going to talk about, and we need to stop any of these discussions that's going on in the centers. When you go back and talk with your coworkers, we're not talking about people ask me all the time. Our own members say, are we going to lose our pension? I don't think so. Are we going to lose our health care? Oh, I don't think so. What we're going to do in this contract, in addition to not paying for health care, is we're going to deal with this harassment that goes on. We're going to deal with some language that talks about them adequately staffing centers instead of replacing drivers. They dump all the work on everybody else that's already overworked. We're going to deal with those issues. And we're going to deal with this technology. It's not going to be perfect when we're done, and they're not going to be a warm and fuzzy company that hugs you every day. But we've got to address technology. We have got to address the fact that they've got center managers sitting on their fat ass in the office looking at a computer screen and disciplining you. We've got to deal with that. And we've got to deal with more packages back on the package car with SurePost. And we got to deal with more full-time opportunities for our part-time members. And yes, it is way past time. We are going to increase the starting wage rate for part-timers in this contract. So this is not going to be about one issue of health care. This is going to be about putting we put a record amount of money in our contract 5 years ago for health and welfare and pension. We're going to protect our pensions, but we got to put lots of money in at this time. You know why? Because we got to pay the price for those no-good Wall Street people who destroyed our economy in 2008 and 2009. You know what? If we all had our way, we'd be visiting them in a federal prison, but we can't fix that yet. So we got to put monies in there. So we're going to do pay raises, and we're going to do pension increases, and we're going to do all the things that we normally do in a contract, because, as I said earlier, this company is incredibly successful, but they're successful because they have the most productive workers in America, and they all happen to be Teamsters. Now, a lot of people is worried about, oh my God, we could end up on strike. Well, first of all, I don't want to see you on strike, but before you start paying $90 a week, we will be on strike. Mark that down. But here's what I say. Here's what I say. The best way to resolve this contract and do it now is to send a message to this company that whether it is in February, whether it's in March, or whether it's on July 31st, we're not going to accept a concessionary contract. You better get off your bullshit now, and let's get this contract done and protect that work from shippers and get more work for our members. Because if you wait, and I have told them this across the table, you got 3 choices. You can take that crazy proposal off the table. One. Two, if you can't provide health care to our members without them paying co-pays, we'll do it for you. Or three, you can continue down this, totally ignore what I'm telling you, and we'll take our marbles and go home and see you in July. So I happen to think that if we continue across this country to see the kind of crowds that we're seeing here tonight, standing out here in the cold because you care about your contract, if we send this message, guess what? We're going to take pictures. We're going to use you. Yes, we are. Because we're going to do two things, and that's why we're picking the strongest areas in this country to go to. One, we want to use pictures of these rallies to send around to all of our locals so that some of the UPSers in this country who are sitting back and saying, well, it's not our responsibility, we don't have to do anything. We want to inspire our own members, and we also want to send those pictures to the company so we're inspiring our members and scaring the hell out of them. So I'll wrap this up by asking you a couple of questions. Are you ready to fight for a fair contract? I want to make sure they can hear this so they report back to Atlanta. Are you ready to fight for a fair contract? And finally, are we going to pay co-pays for our health insurance? Yeah, let's go get them. Thank you.
All right, this may not be appropriate, but who really cares at this point? I need a motion to give this local 25 the authority to take any and all action, up to and including a strike, to make sure we secure the best contract at UPS. Can I have that motion? Is there a second? Is there anything on the question? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. The ayes have it. Let's kick their ass. Let's put up all the signs. Listen, I got one message, because Ken, myself, and Jim are going to walk in that building because we own that building. But I want to tell you all something, too. When you go in that building tonight, or you go in that building Sunday, or you go in that building Monday, you walk with your head high. And when those supervisors, those managers come over to talk to you, say, don't talk to me till I'm on the clock, and hell no, we won't go. We're going to win this fight. Let's go. Are we going to win? Are we going to win? Are we going to win? Ha-fa, 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 ha-fa.
I tried.
Sorry
about that.
Are we ready to fight? Are we ready to fight? Let's fight. Thank you all for coming out. We got to hit the road. Thank you very much.
We work for you, Scott!
Okay, baby. That's the message.
Thank you very much.
No pay, man. No pay.